Hello everyone. So back in the studio, lots going on. I've got projects everywhere. And as I sit through doing this taping, I'm preparing to go to New Mexico for a workshop there at Gypsy's place, Pamela Armis. She has a wonderful studio gallery in Mountain Air, New Mexico, and she invited me over to do a workshop. And so a lot of you guys will be meeting me there. I'm so excited. I love getting together with the community, and I love just teaching, and I love the kinetic feeling of just being around everyone. So as I'm doing that, I'm sitting here getting ready to work in our new journal. I'm so glad so many of you like that journal. I got so much positive feedback that you enjoyed it. You like that style. You love working with the sari silk. It's a little different, but it's not as fumbly as you would think. I think many of you found that out. And it does make a really cool binding. I love it. And it's like, I think, who was it? I forgot who said it was original paperback. Was that Gail? Did you say that? I just thought that was so cool. Like, or was it Jody? One of our regulars. I know we talk a lot. And it is like the original paperback. I love it. So I want to do some work. I'm going to do some work on a gel plate where I'm going to show you how using my stamps, my ArtFoamie stamps. You can see which are right over here. Using some ArtFoamie stamps. We're going to use some Tim Holtz stamps, the two that he has that are, it's in a set. Oh, this is the original scripting. I mean, of all scripting stamps out there, except for mine now, these were my favorite. And I still love them. They were the ones that gave me the inspiration for these because I wanted thin, beautiful stamps that looked like a language, but when you could use them so many different ways that they didn't look like they were just repeating themselves. And I'm actually working on another series of scripted ones that'll come out probably early summer. I'll do some ones to add to this. But anyhow, I wanted to show you how I make papers that will look like, sort of like old world, sort of authentic, and that can blend in with a lot of vintage and found ephemera. And but I do it on the gel plate because I do a process of the monoprinting and then direct stamping. And I'll talk about that, but it shows you the difference that you can get in line and in blurriness and blotting and stuff like that. So I love using the gel plate like that. We're going to be using our fountain pen inks, and we'll also use some of the oxide stamps, Tim Holtz's. I love the oxides. And we'll use a little bit of paint, and I'll show you what we're doing there. But mostly we're just going to be using the fountain pen ink and the stamps. And we'll get a good permanent stamping, and then I will be staining those, with coffee. We know how to do the coffee tea thing to get them old world. And so that's what we're going to do coming up on the gel plate. And so let's get started, and we'll have some fun here. Alrighty, see you on the table. Hello everyone. So let's get started down here on the table. I kind of just been playing around a little bit, but I wanted to make some papers that were kind of like sort of script based, that just had like a little bit of language on them that I could use as additional pages in our old world reference material book. And I thought it'd be fun to actually gel print some pages that we could use. I'm really liking how this, you can see the slight stamping quality of the text there. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I think I'm going to clean the plate just a little bit more with some quinacridone. It always pulls a lot off. So let's go ahead and roll some out. And I think I'll do some negative space here. So I'll show you what I mean. There's might be something on this plate that'll still pull, but let's also just do a little bit of Just removing some there. And we'll go ahead and pull this, see how much we pull up. So this is, I'm really just cleaning it, but you know, it's amazing when you clean a plate. Sometimes that's where you get the best stuff. And then I'll show you what I have in mind. We'll just place some. Working with the distressed oxides as well. Love those. And where is my alcohol ink? I have some in a spray bottle because I want to use that too. Just seeing how much I could clean off. Not a whole lot, but look at that. See how we got some of the language there? This could definitely be stained, but just put that there because I just want to kind of clean. So I guess most of what's on there is off. It will come off. Let's just go ahead and so I'm going to take our fountain pen inks. You know, this Arishizuki that I like. This is in it's Budo, but it's like I guess it's kind of like a raspberry color. I really like the way this prints, especially when you start staining and it interacts with browns and not browns, but you know, our cream tones and coffee staining and stuff like that. It really gets good. So we're going to put this here. And just kind of stamp it lightly because it's gonna bleed a little bit. We're gonna let that dry, but it's really good. Let's do some more. These are my ArtFoamies. So those of you who may not have them already, I'll make sure you have a link for them. Let's go ahead and put this here. Just kind of putting it different directions so that we can and you can see if I stamp it down here, you know, we get a nice print there because they're pretty loaded. I like doing them on the plate, and we can also do them on the directly on the print. See how much? It's good stuff. Okay, and then let's do this sort of gray color that I have. Just kind of pat it on. So we can get to here. Just kind of press a little lightly so that, okay, I think I'm over stamp in a couple places. So it doesn't smear too much, but we get, you know, we'll start seeing that text is down there. So we're going to let that dry. And then, I'm going to put this to the side while it's drying. Let's there. I can bring this piece over and we can further stamp it because then when we go to coffee stain this, let it absorb. Okay, that's dry. Let's see how much we can get here. Oh, that's good. Move this over. Also, what I'll do sometimes is I'll spritz just a little bit. kind of reactivate the ink. And that's where you get a nice blurry kind of thing going on there, but it's really good. Oh yeah, see, that's good. Let that sit. And have the Tim Holtz, and I put a little bit here on the Tim Holtz as well. And so we'll put that down. I already had some ink on there that was drying. So let me just lift this up. Oh, that's good. So we'll keep on working with that. Okay, so now this is dry. I think I'm going to put, let's do cream again. Right now, probably should get this plate totally cleaned up so that maybe I have a little bit more full print, but I'm going to definitely coffee stain. So I was kind of playing around, and while I was waiting for this to dry, honestly, I couldn't stop. So I stopped the camera. I was just playing around with seeing how these printed out. So I'm going to stain those. Those are going to be good for the book. But let's go ahead. I'm trying to keep some things neutral. And so I think what I'm going to do is let's just get some of this. And I also have some of the champagne. I'm gonna mix a little bit of a metallic in there. This is kind of a lot, Robin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get where is my, I'll just use some of this. I want to brayer off on a piece of paper because this, I always like brayering off because the prints that come from cleaning your brayer off and then printing and stamping over top of these really are nice. This has to be thinner so that we pick up. You can start seeing the text through it. So okay. I'm using this 100% cotton rag paper that I had shown you all before. Since it's the same paper that I have pages in the book, I wanted to keep the same paper. But I want to get these a little more neutral too, so I might have to over print with I don't know, maybe a further cream. I don't know. We'll see. Or I think also when I stain them, they'll also won't be so bright. Getting a little bit of the transfer. Not getting as much off as I'd like. But this is all good stuff to stamp on. So let me do this. Because I want to get this monoprint thing going. Versus, you know, it's a kind of a different print when you can monoprint versus let's see which one of these is what. Versus stamping right on them. I kind of like the squishy thing that happens, so that's what I'm trying to get to. Sometimes it can take a little while. Okay, here. Let's do some of this. Okay. Let's do this. Let me just put this down right on top of it while it's still wet. See what I can pull. Kind of got to be careful because it's going to smush, but we should get, yeah, here we are. That's what we want. This sort of text look, but you know, where it's really blurred. That's what I was going for. So it's good to get a layer of this down and then come back. And when you put the image right on the plate, let's do it with this, and then press it down. You can use a fresh sheet or you can use a sheet that's, you know, already have paint on it. Let's do both of these. Let's see what we get. Kind of a lot on here right now, but so it might okay, let's see here. Lay it straight down and just let it absorb. So basically what we're getting is we're getting this idea of text without it being, yeah, this is good. See how you get this idea of text without it being real texty, and it just gives this old world look to it so that when we use these in our pages in our book, just making more pages that I think will integrate nicely with our reference book that we're working on. That's good. Okay, now let's take this one that I rolled out on. Let's see what happens here. Because I am going to stain these. Oh yeah. So see, we just get this little hint of, I don't know if you can tell, of staining, which is what we want it to look like. I mean, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for something that doesn't necessarily say full text. And then we can come back with this and put it on there and see, we get a little bit more of a text look. You see that? But it still integrates because it's still reading lines. So it looks like it could have faded or, you know, that kind of thing over time. So let's put something here. Get this one. A little bit more on. These are the Tim Holtz ones. I love his. It's his that really got me started on using so much of the scripted stamps, and which caused me to create my own because I love them. And there weren't a lot out there. I felt that, I mean, I don't think there are really any out there that really kind of give it this look. And so when I designed mine, I wanted this look of text without it looking like specifically like it's saying something. But, you know, I know it is because these all came from old documents. So I'm kind of stamping on top. And then, see, I can put this down here. We need more. So we can do it both ways. We'll put it I'm always making sure that it's wet. So we'll put it down like this. So we're just playing back and forth with, and then grab it in that area to just keep on picking up this text. I see, I like it how when you brayer it out and then when we go to stain this, because I'm going to stain all of these, it's just going to be so good. Okay, so let's do a little more. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull, I'm using this titanium by Blick, unbleached titanium. So I'm just going to get a good solid pull. And then come back and do some more of that. I have this Atelier in sepia. So I'm going to use that. And I also have it in walnut. Let me get the walnut. I think these browns could be good. So let's use some of that. Now I pick up some of what was left on the plate, which was what I was trying to do before. And now that I wasn't thinking about it, it picked it up. So you see how we get this really, let me see at an angle so you can see. You see how you get this really nice, light pattern. And that's what we want, because for our books, let me pull my book out. I had to go out and get my book here, but so you see how we have this. So let's say we're starting to work these kind of papers, because I'm going to be collaging on some of my plain papers, or like see back here, you know, we can start pulling. I'm going to coffee stain these, but I want to have more papers to begin working this book neutral. Like I'm going to cover a lot of this up, because remember, this was just a lot of spare papers. So I'll be going through and collaging and doing things, but I wanted to show you how I was going to be making these sort of kind of old world pieces using the gel plate. You know, you can also take book pages. Like I'll just grab, this is for my blue book, so nothing special, but get some book pages. If you have some vintage ones, you can put it down on that. You know, so you get the overstamping. And then let me get this one. And then come over that with something that we can see a little more clearly. And what's nice about it is that you literally can blot out a lot of the text. So if you just have common everyday kind of book pages that are not that exciting, but you want to kind of get them an old world look, just start by kind of overprinting them like we're doing. And you can really start blotting out a lot of the text. And basically, you can hardly see what's underneath there anymore. So you can kind of turn a regular book page into an old world looking page. And then when you coffee stain it, it's just good. So hopefully that gave you guys some ideas for also I can't stop. Look at me. I'm going to stop though. Even these oxides. So this one is gathered twig. So even the oxides, you know, with water, they'll oxidize, but you could take it on the page that you started with this and then put that down. And look at that. It's so good. So just kind of keep overprinting. And then when we go to stain this, see that? You're just going to, like, this is just going to look like an old vintage piece of paper. And it was just from a regular old book that probably had a lot of stuff on it that I didn't necessarily care about. So anyhow, that's it. Next week, we're going to start taking some of these pages, and I'm going to take one of the first pages in my resource book and begin the journey of kind of in the kind of collages that I'm envisioning that I want to put in this book. I will begin my journey. And I think maybe from you seeing what I'm going to do, hopefully it'll be some inspiration, and you'll also begin to think about what you want to fill your journal up with over the years. So I'm kind of tweaking a fun style that I want to kind of play with. And so this journal is going to be a good place for me to start. Okay, so here we are. I kind of turned it down, just the light down just a little bit so the color doesn't blow out as much. But here they all are dry. Okay, so we have the front. Oh, look at this. And with that coffee stain, you see how it just gets the right amount of sort of age and everything to it. That's just perfect for our book. And on the back, it's good too. So either side. This one and on the back. Because see this, the fountain pen ink just bleeds through so nicely. You get gorgeous stuff on both sides. So this is this side, and I really like the way it faded on the back. In fact, I think I'm going to use this much of it because I like how the page number is down there. And with this, and with this edge like this, it really does just look like an old piece of paper. I love it. This is just brilliant. Look at that. See how it dried? That is just good. All of this is just, see, it's just amazing. The way that ink dries, and then when you go to stain it a little bit, it just bleeds just a little bit. And this side looks great too. So these can easily be two-sided pieces of paper. Like this technique could be used to make the journal, you know, binding the two pieces together, because it's just good stuff on both sides. This is another one. This is with the unbleached titanium down, and then we stamped on top of it. And the back side of this is good. This is another one that I did a lot of stamping on. Pulled the unbleached titanium. And look at the back side of this. Look at that. That's just good. So you can just see the various ways of doing the text on that gel plate. You know, doing it on the gel plate, off the gel plate, doing it, letting it dry, pulling it with the paint, putting it right down when it's not dry. I mean, I just work it all those different ways. And this is how I get all these different levels and variety of intensity. Some of it's pushed back. See, if you stamp it all, then it's all intense. Or if you do it all on the plate, then it's all soft. You got to kind of push back and forth to really get what we're after. That's just good. Love this one. Oh, this is good. And this quinacridone azo, this never fails. It just always stains so beautifully. And see up in here, that 1787, and then this is the forest moss in there. It's just good. And then these little thin bits here. Oh, it's really good. This is wonderful, old wall, a lot of writing on it. So this is just a nice neutral that could continue to be worked with. You know, I'll probably work in sections of this. All these I'll be, you know, tearing up and using them as part of collage pieces in the journal, along with other stuff. Probably I'll also use, you know, other vintage papers along with these. So it's just a way to enhance, you know, vintage papers, just to get that old world look. And look at the back. The backs are just good. So just as a next, you know, because I figure you guys would love to have these. So I'm going to make these next month's downloadables on Patreon. Of course, so all of you all will get these. Of course, the BTS, you guys, you know, you get the printables or the stainables. Whenever I do those go in the BTS as well. But everybody is going to get these. And I've done both back and front. So you get the front and the back version. So I thought it'd be more stainables to play with and use in your journals and just be able to see them up close. And you guys get a jump on getting to use these stamps because they won't be released until maybe May but they're on here so you can have fun with, playing with those images. So that's everything. Okay. We're good. So more coming. All right, guys. Bye-bye.